Black Land, directed by Ansel Harris and Keon Byron, is the story of a young woman in a broken world. The year is 2023, and Trinidad and Tobago is in the middle of a war between America and Russia. A missile was launched, destroying Port of Spain and eventually turning the country into a wasteland. 15 years later, a survivor has emerged. This is her story. So for those of you who have been following the television series Magnolia, here comes the latest from Ansel Harris and his team over at Ville Ventures and the GT Network, Black Land. And this one is very different in tone. Magnolia is our superhero story, and it's going to build that superhero universe that's based in the Caribbean, Here what we have is a post-apocalyptic story, along the lines of The Road, which I'll get to, called Black Land. Now, this is a short form television series, and it has 2 episodes out so far. And by short form, I mean that they don't run for more than about 10 minutes per episode. So you can actually probably wait till it's all out there and watch it all in one, like one long movie if you like. I actually enjoy doing that. Or if you prefer, and time is short for everybody, you don't have to worry about having to sit there and watch half an hour's worth of content. You get everything that you need in those 9-10 minutes. So let's get into what I really enjoyed about both episode 1 and episode 2. By the way, episode 2 just dropped on the GT Network, and I'll put in a link to where you can find that. But episode 1 did come out a little while prior to this. I just happened to now find the time to shoot everything together. So I'm going to just cover the both of them. And episode 1, what I liked here is the whole show, don't tell way that this is done. By that I mean a lot of movies, a lot of television shows think they have to go into this long narration of, this is what happened, and this is where we are now, and this is who our character's in, and blah, 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 blah. Show me what you're trying to say, right? And I did like that here. We got this a really nice opening, really strong visuals. We get this opening of what is happening, the whole contention between Russia and America, which is an actual real thing. And here comes poor Trinidad and Tobago caught in the middle, and they launched a nuclear strike, and Port of Spain is what gets destroyed. Basically, the country of Trinidad is destroyed because you have nuclear fallout. Those who survived the initial impact have now dying from radiation poisoning and that sort of thing. And we have where we come now to our heroine, played by Aaliyah Watley. She's our nameless hero, which I kind of dig. I don't know if they're going to do that all the way through, but I kind of like that we don't have a name, And she is surviving on her own, She's all that's left so far of what we can see. And visually, like I said, they do a really good job here of telling that story. You don't need a bunch of words to get across how desolate and how isolated and how lonely this person is in this world. They pick some really nice locations. I have no idea where. Our island is small, and yet, I'm sad to say, or I'm a little ashamed to say, I have not exposed myself to all the beauty this island has. So they do find some really cool locations to make this look very post-apocalyptic. And it did bring to mind for me The Road, starring Viggo Mortensen, which is this independent post-apocalyptic film about this man and his young son who are just trying to survive, trying to find a safe place to, I guess, put down roots, if you want to call it that. And it's very brutal, and it's very gritty and grimy and dirty and desolate. And it's a little bit of a hard thing to watch because, it's not a forgiving film. And Black Land, they kind of bring that out here, and I really dig that. I really love it. I like a good post-apocalyptic story. I'm one of those weirdos that kind of wonder what it would be like if stuff like that happens for real. Not that I wanted to, but I do think about it. And I think Aaliyah Watley, she has this quiet presence that I'm really digging.
like I said, it is short. We don't really get to spend that much time with her. We don't really have an idea yet of who she is as a character, but visually, she definitely sells this role, so far. So that's awesome. And that's about it, guys. Because I mean, it's 9 minutes, but it does end with a drone, a shot of a drone, and at first I was like, wait, is that, are we supposed to be seeing that? So, we know that there's more people here, there's somebody's watching, that sort of thing is going on here. Because it's not like it's the entire world that is ended, it's just our world. And when you live in a world that is going through something like that, I guess like a war-torn country and stuff, it probably does feel like your entire world, like the entire world has ended. So it's a very strong start, and I'm on board, which takes me into episode 2. Now, here we are continuing with the character, and another aspect that I really like, I dig the costume design for this character, and I love the score. Sorry, I don't have the name of the person who composed the music for this, but it really works well with what we're seeing. And her costume design, it's simple, it makes sense, it fits into the world, and I really love that touch of red. I love that her backpack is red and everything else she's wearing is black. There's just something about that. It brings it all together for me, and it definitely looks like, you scavenge this laptop backpack, wherever you could find it, because this is what she's doing. So we see her going through, different locations. Again, they find these really cool isolated locations, and we see her trying to find water, trying to find food. We also get a glimpse of what's happening in the world on a larger scale, and we have this newsreel of what's happening with Tobago, our sister isle, and that's basically now a safe zone. So we're building on the fact that there is a place that maybe you want to get to. Like if you have a zombie movie, everybody's looking for that safe zone. So there is a safe zone. But our islands, for those who don't know, Trinidad and Tobago, it's not connected. They're not far from each other, but they're not connected. So for somebody who would be trapped in Trinidad and you don't have the resources to get to Tobago, that's not going to be an easy battle. So that'll be interesting to see if that's where they're going with this. Where else am I on this? The weaker aspect of this episode for me was in the fact that we don't get much beyond her scavenging. Now, for something like this to work, you really do need somebody to bounce this character off of. And by that I mean, we don't need a bunch of people. Honestly, a movie like this could actually work with just maybe 2 or 3 people, depending on how you do it. I'm saying a movie. It just feels so cinematic to me. A television series like this, it can work, especially with this short form. You don't need a lot of people, but you need somebody to bounce this character off of so that we can start to get a sense of who she is, because I didn't really get that here. It was just more of her scavenging, more of her looking for rations and that sort of thing. I think maybe she's even looking for survivors, because nobody wants to be alone like that. But because we don't get anything more than her scavenging and the results of that, I don't know who she is. I haven't gotten a sense of who she is, and I really would have liked to see maybe a little bit more. My idea would have been to maybe show her, maybe she has like a photograph of her family, something she carries about with her, something that gives us just an idea of who she was and who she is and that sort of thing, build on that. But it didn't build on that at all in episode 2, which I thought was a missed opportunity, because we the audience, we need to connect with this character. We need to have a sense of who she is, even if maybe she talks to herself, maybe a little bit of that insanity has set in and she talks out loud, when she goes through these buildings looking for stuff, and she comments on stuff that she finds, that kind of thing. All of that could work. All of that could give us a sense of who she is. We didn't get that here. So for me, this was a bit of a letdown in that respect. I still want to know where they're going with this. We still, like I said, we know the world as a whole still exists. And we know that maybe there is somebody watching what's happening here. I felt like we just needed a bit of that in this episode to push things to the next level. That said, I'm still invested. I'm still on board. I love a good post-apocalyptic story. I love this kind of stuff. And I still think Aaliyah, I think she has something there that I really want to dive into. I want to see who this character is. I want to see more of this world. So Blackland, episode 1 and episode 2, where do they stand score-wise for me? It's kind of hard. I kind of want to score it all as one because it's such a short, each episode is so short, you know. So I think I'm going to wait until it's all over to score it all. But I will say I loved episode 1 and I enjoyed episode 2, you know. So here's hoping episode 3 really gives us something to sink our teeth into, really gives us something to look forward to. And you know, just when you do this type of short form series, I think it's really important that every episode ends with something that leaves you like, you know, something that makes you want to know what's gonna happen next. You know, you have to hook us. So Blackland, yeah, I'm on board for this one and I'm excited to see where this goes. And that's going to be it for this review, guys. So thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It's always appreciated. If you're new and you'd like to subscribe to my channel, you can click on my face when it pops up right about there. And for past reviews, I reviews of Magnolia as well. You can check it out right there. So until the next one, bye bye.